Eleanor had lived her entire life through music. The piano wasn't just an instrument, as it was her soul. Each note she played carried more emotion than words ever could. On stage, under golden lights, she didn't just perform, she became the music. Audiences wept, lovers held hands, and strangers closed their eyes, simply listening as her heart spoke through the keys. She didn't hear it at first, the faint ringing in her ears after a performance in Prague. She brushed it off, blaming fatigue, altitude, the flight. But the ringing grew louder with each passing week. Then, slowly, sound began to fade. First the high notes, then the world around her. Conversations became mumbles. The applause she lived for turned into silence. A specialist confirmed the truth. It was degenerative, permanent. She was going deaf. Elena laughed bitterly in the doctor's office. A musician losing her hearing. How poetic. Her voice cracked on the word poetic, and tears slipped down her cheeks. How could someone made of music survive in silence? In the weeks that followed, she fell into a quiet void. Her apartment, once filled with the sounds of Rachmaninoff and Chopin, grew cold and still. The piano sat untouched, like a ghost. Friends tried to call, to visit, but she withdrew. What was the point of staying connected when the world now spoke a language she could no longer hear? One rainy afternoon, Elena stood barefoot on her wooden floor and pressed a hand against her upright piano. Just for a moment. She struck a low chord, and though she couldn't hear it, she felt it. The vibration echoed up through her palm, into her chest. She closed her eyes and struck the key again. A pulse. A heartbeat. That night, she moved the piano closer to the window where sunlight would hit it in the morning. She sat down and began playing, not to hear but to feel. Every bass note reverberated through her spine. Every pedal pressed echoed in her bones. Music wasn't gone. It had simply changed form. Determined, Elena learned to read music all over again, this time not as sound but as sensation. She memorized frequencies, patterns of vibration, the subtle shifts that came with dynamics. Her hands became her ears. She learned to play barefoot, letting the floor carry the music into her body. She discovered tools too. A speaker connected to the piano that translated sound into LED lights. Colours danced with her playing, blues for minor chords, golds for triumph. Slowly her home lit up with melodies she could no longer hear, but deeply, completely felt. The silence was no longer empty. It was full of colour, of motion, of feeling. Months later, Eleanor took a bold step. She arranged a small recital, not in a concert hall but in an art space designed for sensory immersion. The audience was given headphones and haptic vests. As she played, they felt what she felt. The thunder of chords, the tenderness of a single note. The lights around them pulsed in sync with her music. When she finished, silence settled. She stood, unsure, heart pounding. Had they felt it? Had they understood? And then, one by one, they rose to their feet. A standing ovation. She couldn't hear the clapping, but she saw their tears, their smiles, their trembling hands. She had reached them. Eleanor learned something that night. Music isn't just sound. It's emotion, energy, movement. It's something that lives not only in the ears but in the skin, the breath, the heart. Her hearing had faded, but her music had not died. It had simply evolved. Now, when she plays, she smiles quietly. Her silence is no longer empty. It's rich, full, alive. When the music stopped, something else began. A new rhythm, a deeper one. Not to be heard, but to be felt, like love, like grief, like hope. And in that rhythm she found herself again.